A lot of people ask me, when should I buy gold? Well, if you did not buy before the U.S. session opened on the previous Friday, you missed a huge opportunity. But that's okay. Don't worry. There's still plenty of opportunity to buy gold at a good price right now. And that's what we'll look at in this video. So here we are with the regular weekly analysis, which I do every Sunday, with this week starting on the 25th of August, 2025. And let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And first thing we always look at is the calendar with the high impact news that's coming up for the week. And there's hardly anything for this week, which is good because last week was just an amazing week with the news. But I just suggest that you go to forexfactory.com and check for your local time zones to see what's coming up for this upcoming week. And now we look at the profit and loss that I had from last week's trade setups that I shared with you. But of course, before we do that, we look at the DXY. This is the US dollar index, which is the US dollar compared with 6 major currencies. And as you can see on Friday, the US dollar crashed. And that is because Jerome Powell in his speech at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, announced that there are expected interest rate cuts coming in September and beyond for the US dollar. And with lower interest rates, that means that investors are less likely to be interested in holding onto the US dollar. So we saw that big drop during his speech, and you can see the US dollar index closed out the week pretty much where it started the week. And we are going to continue to see lower prices on the US dollar index as the US dollar continues to weaken and lose strength. And then looking briefly at Bitcoin, Bitcoin had an all-time high about 10 days ago, 123,700. It dropped down since then. Over the last 10 days, it got down to 112,000, but then in Friday's session made a bit of a recovery up to 117,000, and on this weekend is trading around the support level of 112,000. And then the trade setups that I shared with you last week, this is the chart. It looks a little bit strange now after Friday's news session that we saw. But the chart showed bearish on the day chart, bearish on the 4-hour chart. So of course, being bearish on gold, I had a sell limit, and that did execute. On Monday, we had a gap down on the opening, and then it went up. Okay, started to climb a little bit, but then it did go the right direction, and about midweek, we closed that one out for 285 pips. Then the Euro US was a buy limit. That one did execute, but only got 15 pips out of that one before going the wrong direction. And then the odd US buy limit also, that trade did not open, so there was no profit made on that pending order. Then the New Zealand US was a buy. This was a market execution order, and it did open and gave us 22 pips on that trade. The pound US was a buy limit. That pending order did execute on Monday. We got 20 pips out of that one. And then the USD CAD, as I said in last week's video, that was no trade. So there was no pending order, no buy limit, no sell limit on that one. And you can see the USD CAD closed out the week where it started the week. And the UJ was a sell limit. This one did go a little bit the wrong direction, and it just depends on where you had your stop loss, whether you were still in the trade. If you had held on to that about midweek, you could have got 28 pips out of that one. Now let's look at the pending orders. These are the trade setups that I have in place for this upcoming week, and I do this in order to help you make profit with your forex trading. And just remember, guys, that I'm not giving financial advice here. I'm not suggesting or recommending you take the same trades. This information that I provide for you is for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. It's up to you to use good risk management, to follow your own strategy, and to protect your capital. And first, looking at the Euro US, these are the pending orders that I have in place, but this week they're not pending orders, okay? They are market execution orders, all of them. Because of the Jerome Powell speech on Friday and the expected lowering of interest rates on the US dollar, we are now definitely bullish against the US dollar, bullish on the major pairs, bullish on gold. So these are market execution orders. And usually after a big move, you will see some retracement. And we already started to see some pullback in the close of the US session. So I'm expecting to see gap ups or possibly a very, very small retracement before we start to see continuing upward movement with all of the major pairs and with gold. So I have a buy on the Euro US. All right, now I don't start taking trades immediately when the market opens. Wait a couple of hours. All right, I prefer to wait at least till Tokyo opens, and then Singapore and Shanghai. Wait till the Asian market really kicks in, and then we should start to see some strong upward movement on all of the major pairs and with gold. So the Euro US is a buy, and I have the take profit on each of these for those of you that have requested it. The AUD US is a buy. The New Zealand US is a buy. The Pound US is a buy. And of course the USD CAD is a sell. And the UJ, the USD JPY, is a sell. And then the favorite one that everybody loves to trade, and that's gold. And as you saw in last week's chart, it was bearish on the day chart, bearish on the 4-hour chart, but that's all changed. In one day it changed. Everything is bullish now on gold. Day 1 is bullish, H4 is bullish, so just buy gold. You're asking me, when should you buy gold? Well, now is a good time. The take profit that I'm sharing with you is $3,400. We're only $30 away from that now, and gold moved up $60 on Friday, so we're easily going to hit 3,400 in the next couple of days, and very likely to go for the all-time high of 3,500, and I expect we will crash through that, perhaps even this week, or certainly within the next couple of weeks. So definitely bullish on gold. Just be patient, see if there is a little bit of a retracement, but definitely bullish on gold. We can expect higher prices all this week. Okay guys, that's a wrap for this week. I hope that these trade setups that I share with you will help you to be profitable with your Forex trading. And wherever you are in the world, I hope that you have a good trading week. If you're new to this channel, be sure you subscribe and click the little bell so you'll be notified every time you get one of these. And don't forget, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'll see you again next week.